Hi, thanks for joining me. This is Angie at Chicken Scratch, and today's project is going to be another one sheet wonder. We're going to be making 9 cards and a box out of one sheet of Designer Series paper. The paper is Merry Moments, and it's in the annual Stampin' Up! Catalog. This is the other side if you'd prefer to use that. Okay, so the supplies you're going to need, let me get these out of the way, is of course one piece of the Merry Moments Designer Series paper. The stamp set that I'm using is Cozy Christmas, and we're going to be using the 2 3/8 scallop circle punch and the 2-inch circle punch. You're going to need some white satin ribbon, and then the supplies you're going to need is 2 pieces of Whisper White, 2 pieces of Mossy Meadow, and 5 pieces of crumb cake. This is going to be for the cards. And then this is going to be for the scallop circles, and this is going to be for the image. So the first thing we'll do is cut our Designer Series paper. I've made another template here, and I was going to make, what this was going to be is a repeat of number 4 One Sheet Wonder, because I wanted to use like a masculine print. And then in the process I thought, well, I'm going to change this up again. So the box is a repeat from One Sheet Wonder number 4, but we're calling this number 5 because we're getting 9 cards out of this instead of, well, I don't remember what was in 4 now. But anyway, so I'll show you the first cut. Let me get my Stampin' Trimmer. Okay, so our first cut is going to be at 4 inches. And then let me open up my arm real quick. There we go. And then we're going to cut it at 8. And we're going to set this piece aside. That's going to be for the box. Then this piece left over measures 4 by what? 4 by 4. Right. So we want to cut this to measure 3 1/4. So that's card number 1. We'll set this over here. Our next cut is going to be at 4 inches again. And we're going to cut at 3 1/4 3 times. I don't know if you can see the measurements, but they're all at 3 1/4. Okay, this bottom piece down here is too small to cut at 3 1/4, so this is going to be for card number 8. That's a different measurement. So we're going to take that leftover piece, which measures 4 by 12, and we're going to cut it at 3 1/4 3 times, just like the last one, and we'll have that one smaller piece for card number 9. So again, all of these are getting cut at 3 1/4, and then this is left over. Okay, so everything is cut for the Designer Series paper. These are 2 cards, this is 7 cards, and this is the box. So I'll show you. This is card number 2, and this is card number 1, and then of course the box. Okay, so now what we're going to do is cut our crumb cake cardstock. So I'll move this out of the way. Okay, so these cards, I don't know if you noticed, they actually open in this direction, okay? So this one actually opens in that direction, but it could open the same way. So I'm going to change it up and make all of them open this way, okay? So all you're going to do is cut your 5 sheets at 4 1/4. Okay, we've got one more. Now this cuts for 10, so we're not going to use one of these because you get 2 to a sheet. Okay, so this one we'll set aside. Now for our Mossy Meadow, we're going to need 10 of the 2 2 3/8 scallop circle. So what I like to do is just cut these in 3-inch strips, and I can get 3 to a strip, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, 3 to a strip. So if I need 10 of these, then I'm going to need 4 of these strips. So there's my 4. Now we've got this little piece right here, and that measures a 1/2 inch by 4 1/4. So our first cut is going to be at 4 1/4, and then we're going to cut 7 1/2 inch strips. It's much easier to reach this 7 inches over here on this side. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so the next section that we're going to cut is this piece here, and it measures 2 1/2 by 4 1/4, and we only need 2 of those. So we're going to cut this at 4 1/4, and then 2 1/2. Okay, and then we're going to take this piece and cut it at 4 1/4, and then 2 1/2. So now we have both of those. Okay, so the final paper to cut is our Whisper White, and we need 2-inch circles for those, and we need 10 of them. So I'm just going to cut 2 1/2 inch strips. So we need, again, wait, I think that's 2 1/4. It'll be fine. It just needs to be 2 inches. And I think all we need is 1 sheet. I grabbed an extra one for just in case I mess up something. So now what we're going to do is score the base of our cards. We're just going to score these right in half at 5 1/2. You probably can't see the ruler on this, but it's at 5 1/2. Whoops, I have 2 pieces here. Okay, so here's all of our card bases. Take our bone folder now. We're going to fold these in half. While I'm doing this, don't forget to head over to my website. Leave a comment to enter to win. What I'm going to be given is the supplies to make this project. So we will send you the cardstock already cut and packaged in a kit. And we will also include the crumb cake envelopes. I didn't show those, but these are the envelopes that you'll mail your cards in. Okay? Okay, so we're using Mossy Meadow ink. And I need to re-ink this ink pad. I have used it a lot. Let me make sure that I'm spacing this adequately. So this is the 2-inch circle punch. Okay, so now I'm going to do that on the rest of these. I don't know why I'm stamping upside down. And although we only need 10, I'm just going to go ahead and stamp this full sheet. So just in case one of my images didn't stamp well, or if I smeared ink on one of them. So I'm going to give those a second to dry. And what I'll do is go ahead and cut out my scallop circles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we only need 10, okay? Okay, so now we're going to take our 2-inch punch and cut the rest of these out. I guess I don't have to count these out loud. I bet you guys are wondering if I do that when I'm stamping by myself. I might. Okay, a couple more. Okay, so we're going to slide all that aside for just a second. We're going to get our cards back out here. Let's go ahead and attach our Designer Series paper to the front. So we'll start with this first card here. So our cardstock is going to go on there just like that. So I'm just going to attach it just like that. And while I have this card, now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my silicone mat so that I don't get adhesive on my work desk. I have finally learned. Okay. I may fast forward this step since there is several of these to do. If I do, I'll put some music on for you. I never really know if I'm going to fast forward until I get to the editing process. Okay, so now we're going to take these two pieces and attach them. So I'm just going to put adhesive on this. And then adhesive on this one. Okay, so for these two, I'm going to take the white stitched satin ribbon, and on my original sample I actually tied it around the DSP, but I decided after the fact that it's a little bit easier to tie the ribbon to both of the layers. It was a little hard to not rip the Designer Series paper, so I'm attaching it to the entire layer this time. Okay. Okay, so now for the next one. By the time I finish all of my One Sheet Wonders for this holiday season, I am going to have all of my Christmas cards made, I believe. Okay, trim this a little bit more. Okay, now we're done with the ribbon. So this one gets placed right here on the front. So I'm just going to place adhesive on the 4 corners and in the middle. Okay, so I just centered that. And now for the same thing on this one. I can tell I need to trim the ribbon on that one. I'll get my little paper snips out. Okay, so now we are left with our image. So I'll set these two aside for a second. get these out. I'm just going to use my glue dots. You can use your snail or whatever adhesive you prefer. I'm just going to put a couple on each of these. I really do use glue dots for a lot of my images. I don't know why. I think they're just so quick and easy. And they're super strong. Uh-oh, that one looks like I smeared it a little. Okay, so I'm going to put one on each, or two on each of the images. Okay, so now we're ready for dimensionals. So I'm just going to place two on each of the images. Okay, so we are almost done. So now, well, we've still got our box to make, so I shouldn't say that. So now we're just going to place our images on our cards. So there's the first one. And the second one. And then now for these. So what I did was I attached this one just a little bit over to the right. You could center it if you prefer. I just like putting it over to the right. Now, one of the things that I didn't do or I didn't show you was your card open. So if you wanted to put a white insert in there, you don't have to. If you want to, this is 5 1/4 by 4. Otherwise, you can still stamp your greeting and sign your card on the crumb cake. So you have options. So here's our cards. They're all complete. Wasn't that quick? Okay, so I've got this in landscape. I'm going to score it at 1, 3 1/2, 4 1/2, and 7. Then I'm going to turn it in portrait and score it at 1 and whoops and 3. Again, this is the same exact box that we made with One Sheet Wonder number 4, but the cards are different. I was really going to just copy that One Sheet Wonder and just say this is another version, but I came up with these cards instead. Okay, a couple more. Okay, so I'm going to take my paper snips, cut up to the score line. Yes, I have a rhinestone stuck to my skin. I don't know where it came from. Okay, so I'm just cutting up to the score line. And then I'm going to trim these tabs just a bit. This really is the perfect size box for the locket. I'm giving several lockets away for Christmas this year, and it fits real nicely into this little box. Okay, so now we're going to place adhesive on the 6 tabs. Oh dear. So now we're just going to bring up the walls. And then it closes just like that. Okay, so I want to show you really quickly though. Remember I was telling you that the locket fits perfectly. So this is one that I'm sending to a family member. And these are the little things that it comes in. So it slides in there perfectly. I would probably put a little bit more paper in the bottom or a piece of flannel. Okay, so just going to close that up and take my image and place it on top. Okay, so this wraps up this One Sheet Wonder class. If you'd like to place an order for any of these projects or to download the instruction sheet, which is free over on my blog, head over to my website. Have a great day. Thanks a lot. Bye.